When I look around the world, I see the beauty of your grace, oh Lord. I hear the voices of the angels as they're crying out in unity.
Your holiness, your wisdom is forever. Every new beginning you give is like a breath of fresh air. We don't deserve it. Who would have told us that we would be given the best share? Now that we stand with torches raised with heavenly voices hailing, when he could command the stones to worship, applaud and praise him. His grace is sufficient for us. Faith that essentially God is the greatest intentions. His ways is amazing to us. Made in his image, so who do you think that we are? He basically made us with dust. Gave us his breath that apparently gave us a pulse. His love is amazing to us. He gave it to us and nobody can take it from us. Where would I be if he never died on the cross? I was in debt to sin and then you covered the cost. I was lost, never buried and you brought me on cause. Of course I can't afford it, but your blood is a source of everything that I ever needed, so why would I pause? You the greatest thing I ever knew, you more than incredible. The one who was and is to come, you be the boss. You be the boss.
Lord, you are good, so good. I don't know where I'd be without you, Lord. Oh, Lord, you are good, yeah. Oh, you've been there for me, yeah. Even when people left my life, even when my heart was broken, you
Ago midindi abeku Agri Santana mani JP sami babeka pay angel money transfer wasem acho ani pay angel money transfer we money transfer sonko ewo UK ewo Europe bebia te say Italy, France, Germany, Netherlands and even Canada. Now we any money transfer ubetumi asend sika e de akoma webusuafo ewo Ghana na usend sika na one ebetumi akogu omu mobile wallet mu se MTN Momo, Airtel Tigo Cash, Vodafone Cash and now say ode ko ne bank account mu direct. Pay angel money transfer any money transfer. So we'll send it the Akko Ghana. Nipa obe receive, or sign so enya life insurance cover up to 4,000 Ghana cedis. Pay Angel money transfer. Any money transfer. Ube to me use with debit card, and now credit card, and now bank transfer. A transfer sika. And the Akoma will drop food we wish for Ewo Ghana. Pay Angel money transfer. Any money transfer. Ube to me to your bills. Ewo Ghana. Say electricity. Say a utility via. Ube to me use Pay Angel money transfer. Any etia bills via fees via ana dues via. And DJ Samba kwa eka Pay Angel when say ube to me edu Pay Angel amani sika edi akoye bibia wo pesa we ewo Ghana na enije sam kra ehwam a obia ka se Pay Angel ayesronko and he say would send this sika ekoma obia ewo Ghana through Pay Angel eye free unti ahwe
Pay Angel, Africa's pay expert. Pay Angel, send mama and papa some money. Pay Angel.
Your name is above all names. It's so powerful than any other name. Jesus, your name is above all names. It's so powerful than any other name.
Jesus, your name is above all names.
Right. He reigns, Jesus Christ. He reigns. That is Francis Summer. Welcome to Chat with Daniel Dadson. And good afternoon to you. If you have just joined, well, you have joined at the right time because we are just kickstarting one of the most engaging conversation I think it will be, and one of the most important if you are a musician or you know someone who is, whether the person is planning to go into music commercially or the person is already in it. This is one link you should send to the person to be part of this conversation, because I tell you what, the conversation that we will be having tonight by God's grace is one that possibly you would have to part with a lot of money to access. And my guests have been generous enough to spare their precious time and educate us, so we can be fully aware. And I'm sure it's something that they are doing as part of ministry. But hey, we'll try and find the fine balance between ministry and the business of the ministry. But welcome to Chat with Daniel. Dadson is another Sunday evening, and like we do it, we're here again to have a conversation, very important one. And like you know, for the past few weeks, I've been trying to focus, go away from the personality conversation and bring to the fore some important conversations that we should have. Tonight, I'm blessed to have some of the, I should say, some of the movers and shakers when it comes to Ghana gospel music. My first guest that I will be going to very, very shortly, he's somebody who is not new at all when it comes to music in Ghana, that is gospel music in Ghana. And I'm excited because he is someone who cuts across all the spheres of what we'll be talking about tonight. He is a singer, songwriter, a composer, a musician, true and a legal practitioner, and one who is well known at that, and very, very, very well versed in the subject I will be talking about. I'll go to him pretty shortly, but hey, welcome to the program. I want you to do me a favor. Share the stream. We are live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube as well. So kindly share the stream, share with someone, and keep sharing. Let's make sure that a lot of people are able to join today's program. And what I'll be doing later on is that I'll put up the link so that if you have a conversation, or if you have a contribution or a question and you are happy to join me live on screen, we will do that. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chat with Daniel Dadson. The song you played was from the song, not you played, I played, was from Emmanuel, not Emmanuel, right? I played Emmanuel Smith, all right, but that was Francis Summer, and Francis launched his album My Ultimate Worship yesterday, and he did that with a live virtual concert. So welcome to the program. Let me go to my guest. I think most of us call him Uncle Ace, and he's no stranger, when he comes on screen. Uncle Ace, good afternoon to you. Or is it good evening?
Afternoon. Well, any of them. It's 4:10, so it could be afternoon, could be evening, could be late afternoon.
Right. I'm so excited. Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with me on tonight's edition of the program.
Well, I'm welcome. The pleasure is mine.
Awesome. Now, in my introduction, I did say that this conversation is one that I'm very sure it's not a strange area to you at all, and I'm very confident as well that you know it's true because you have operated in all the different facets when it comes to music, when it comes to the law, and you know exactly what we should know, and possibly you'll be able to break down the very complex, not too much, because if they need to pay money if they have to get the rest of it, but I'm sure you'll be able to give us just a bit of understanding as far as copyright and intellectual property is concerned. So what I want to find out from you first and foremost is to help us understand in very simple terms, if we talk about intellectual property and copyright as it relates to music, what exactly do we mean?
Well, thank you. But just one little correction.
Okay.
You called me a singer. I can't sing to save my life. The only time that my voice has been on an album was to do a short rap. So I just wanted to put that in perspective. I'm all
Right.
there are a number of things I'm not good at. One is singing, and one is dancing.
I'm sure nobody will challenge you to a dance then.
No. I'll lose ahead of time. Well, let's focus on copyright because that is there are various kinds of intellectual property. There's
Okay.
patent, etc., etc. But let's focus on copyright because that is what is relevant to music.
Okay.
Another term for copyright is the author's right. The author's right. So it is the right that a creator has over their literary or artistic work. So if I put together something that is my creation, I have the right of an author over that. If I write a poem, I have the right of an author to be protected from people using my poem anyhow. Now, copyright covers a number of creations. Literary work. So if you write a book, you write a poem. Artistic work. You create a cartoon, a comic strip. Musical work, which is relevant for us. A sound recording, because you might have musical work that has not been recorded. So you can have sound recordings, audiovisual work, choreographic work, computer software or programs, and derivative work. Derivative work, that is where you've created you have a creation, or you've created a work in one frame and it's translated into another. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
If I write a book, right, and you decide to scan the book into your computer, you have created a derivative work. It is derived from my work. You still don't have the copyright. I have protection in respect of the derivative work, and we can talk about that. So that is what a copyright is. It is the right over an author. It's the right of a creator over their work.
Now, I think what I'll find out next is that should the Christian artists be concerned about copyright at all? Because I think it's been somewhat a pushback for a lot of gospel musicians, and they keep on wondering, should I be interested in copyright? Should I not be interested? Should the Christian musician be interested in copyright at all?
Well, the question I would ask back is that should the Christian musician be interested in producing and selling music at all? That's it.
Now,
should you be interested in producing and selling music? I was leading on to an. Okay, sorry.
Okay. I mean, I was going to ask a follow out to say something in addition. As most of the time, what we hear is that freely have you received, freely should you give.
I agree. I mean, freely you receive. People have assumed that you received the music freely. So why do you sell the music? Why don't you just produce it and give it out there for free? Why don't you just write it and do nothing with it? Can I ask a question? Why do you buy the Bible? After all, it's the word of God. Why do we have various versions and translations? And you go into a shop and you pay money for it. We have to start thinking beyond our noses. Now I have written a few songs. Anybody who assumes that a song comes to me freely does not know what it takes to write a song. And often the people who talk haven't written a song before. They don't know the difference between a chord and a note. Yet they know all that a musician is supposed to do. Now, people write songs differently. People say they woke up in the morning and they had received a song. All right? So, maybe the Holy Spirit dropped it into his spirit whilst he was asleep, or his spirit whilst he was asleep. That's them. With me, it's different. I actually have to sit down to write a song. So a tune might occur to me like a tune occurs to various people. Or I might be sitting behind the piano just fooling around, filling up an hour that I have nothing to do with. And I just realized that I like this progression that I've put together. What can I do with it? Then I sit down. It takes days, sometimes months, not every day, but you write a bit, you go and come back. How does this rhyme? Am I going with the right rhyming scheme? And so you put it together and weave everything together. So anybody who says freely have you received, first of all, is saying that maybe we shouldn't sell the Bible at all. The Bible should be distributed everywhere for free because after all, that's the word of God. But the work that goes into one song in agreeing on what the chord progression will be, does it add up? Does this not add up? I mean, I was doing a song with Koda, and I kept going back and forth with him on one note for weeks. That Koda, this note, we'll go back, come back, go back, come back. Now, when you get into the studio, now this is the portion that people do not realize, that the studio isn't for free. You pay the studio time, you pay the engineering time, you pay people to play, right? You pay a bassist, a guitarist. If you want to use horns, maybe 3 hornsmen, a percussionist, a drummer. Some of the drummers will drum in their studio, bounce it up to you. So there's internet time, data time. When you're done with all of that, you get into mixing. Mixing is a whole different kettle of fish of hours of listening to the same song, checking volumes and equalization and panning and everything. When you are done with that, then you get to the mastering stage, because it's not the mix sound of the board that you put out there. I master in London, so I will send the sound over to the studio in London. They will charge for mastering each song, whether I'm mastering into WAV or I'm mastering into MP3. They're going to charge. When they're done, I would go out there and order the CDs. I press my CDs in France. So they will press them in France. You have to do the artwork. So you hire an artist who will get the concept of the album, put it together. You do the list of songs. You proofread over and over again to make sure you have acknowledged everybody and you haven't misspelled. Put the white. Are you going to do 1 color, 2 color, 4 color printing? Are you going to fold the sleeve? Are you going to have the lyrics of the song in the sleeve? That is extra cost. You put them all together. So the artist finish. You pay the artist. You ship it. They put it together in France. They ship it to London. You go to London. You get maybe the first 1,000. You ship it to Accra. You pay the duties, and somebody says, "Freely have you received?" You know, wow. So it is such a hypocritical stance. Okay, but so you buy the music, but having bought the music, that doesn't justify you then taking the CD and duplicating copies for everybody. So one goes through all of this and you buy a CD for how much? 30 CDs, and then you duplicate 100 CDs and give it to all the people in your choir. That's 100 CDs lost to me in revenue. So if when you are saying freely have I received, actually you are saying that freely have you stolen.
Mm-hmm. That is so relevant, and it's something that I can just picture. It happens a lot. But let's talk about the law, and we are situating this in Ghana. I know because I'm here in London and I've worked with radio stations here. I know that for countries like the UK, US, and a couple of other places, the law is quite stringent, and there are systems and structures that make sure that these things work. But for Ghana, I mean, you are a composer and you also have knowledge of the law. Does it work in Ghana, copyright laws?
Well, we have a very modern Copyright Act, which we passed to replace the old copyright law. So yes, we have a Copyright Act. It is modern. It is of the same level and quality as what you have in the UK.
Right.
The difference is that the structures that exist in the UK, we do not have here. And so in countries like the UK and the US, radio stations are required by law to log the songs they play. So if a station plays 100 songs a day, there will be 100 logs, and all of that is electronically gathered.
Absolutely.
Then the copyright organization will look and say that this station played 5 of Ace's songs. This is how much they have to pay him. And so I will be paid for station A playing 5 of my songs in 1 week. Station B played 3. It's a scientific, because it is monitored. They cannot play on air until they have logged the songs they are going to play, and the copyright agency, which will be our equivalent of Gumroad, will immediately receive it on their portal that station A played 200 songs in day 1. These are the list of songs they played. They will look out for those that are covered by their members of their copyright organization, and the monies are received and passed on. Then also, so we do have the law. The law is very modern. The problem we have with the law is the lack of structures and the lack of the will to monitor these very well. Yes, Gamro is doing something, but it is not comprehensive. So a lot of the stations get away with it. But if they were not doing that, then rights owners will enjoy a lot of revenue, not only from the sale of the CDs and pen drives, and well, to the extent that anybody sold that stage, or downloads from iTunes, listen to it on Spotify. You look at all of that and get paid. But the structures do not exist in Ghana, but we have a very modern law that says everything that any other law in any other country says.
Now, I do engage with a lot of gospel musicians, both the well-established ones and the upcoming ones. And one of the things that is always a challenge for them, or they see it as a dilemma, is how the music is kind of promoted, and this issue of you need to pay radio stations to play your music, and you don't get anything back for it, and it kind of puts that financial stress on a lot of upcoming people. Now, how can they navigate properly when it comes to when it comes to like the issue that the law that you've just described? Like, okay, the structures are not there, but is there any way that after the station has played your music, and this time in Ghana, is there any way the artist can engage with the station by itself to get paid or something, some revenue?
No, you don't do that directly. Now, let me explain this. You by law, they're supposed to log it, and your rights organization is supposed to collect it on your behalf, because they can't deal with 3,000 musicians at the same time.
Right.
So they play it, the rights organization will collect it on behalf of the musicians and distribute it in accordance with the logging. But I understand what you're saying about you having to pay people to play. And so, as like many things in Ghana, it's in reverse. Instead of them paying to play your music, you pay them to play. But I've seen it in other countries where the album release comes with a marketing budget. Surprise, surprise. Okay. It comes with a marketing budget, because you need it played for it to become popular. You need it to get on the charts, to get the ratings, etc. So they have a marketing budget. Whilst that is official and it is recorded, in Ghana, you meet the radio presenter under the tree and give him money and give him the CD and all the whatever, and then they go to play it. So it's one of the things that is in reverse. But if we're doing it right, not only would you be selling it, but the stations and the other entertainment centers that play the music will be paying for the copyright use. And so for those who say that freely have you received, freely you give, they assume that when the radio stations also play, they also should not pay, because freely have you received. So that is not how it works. That is not how it works. It's an excuse for stealing intellectual property.
Help us understand the royalties bit. So what if some people get confused, especially those who are now coming into this space? They do get confused. What is all these royalties is about? How do you even compute to know how much royalties you get, even if you are to get something? So what exactly is this royalties?
Royalties are the fees you pay when somebody uses your property in respect of which you have a copyright. Now, it can arise under various circumstances. The monies that I say the radio stations and other people playing and using the music should pay is called royalties.
Right.
Also, people who then play your music in terms of reproducing the music, in terms of recording it as well, are not supposed to violate your copyright. They're supposed to sit with you and negotiate and pay you for the recording of your music. I'll give an example. On my last album, I was putting a number of hymns together into a medley. Now, I'll explain when we go ahead that in Ghana, a copyright lapses after 70 years. Worldwide, it's 50 years. So if the song is over 50 years old, subject to some requirements, you can record it. But one of the songs that I was recording was new.
sorry, let me get that. So is it 50 years after the death of the original author?
No, not death. After writing.
After writing, okay.
After writing, 50 years after that.
Right.
It's not the death. If it is the death, then we can't record anything. well, some have it. Okay, let's say that it differs from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Ghana is 50 years. In Ghana, is 70 years after you recorded. But in these that I was recording, these songs, 18 something, it's gone way past whichever year, whether it is the death of the person or the date that it was written. Now, but one of the songs, In Christ Alone, was new. So I looked for it and found the right holders, the people who recorded it. And actually they said, well, our office for regulating royalties from Africa and Europe is in Europe. So they directed me to the European office. I told them, look, I'm just going to produce this number of copies. I can verify it to the extent that it could be verified, I can verify it. They gave me a fee. And then they said that they wanted to approve the version, because you see, it is the law doesn't only protect the rights, it protects for what we call the moral rights.
Okay.
I mean, that I can't take your song and turn it into, let's say, a profane song and put it out there simply because I have your copyright. And so they wanted to be sure that what you're doing fits the theme of the person who wrote the song. It's a gospel song, and so it's being used in the gospel vein. And so I paid the fee. They gave me the right to produce the first 1,000 and said, if I was going beyond it, then I need to come to negotiate. So I paid the fee. They gave me the certificate and permission, and then I added it to the album. So there's the royalties coming from the play of the song and from other people who would want to record the song as well. You've come up with your own version of it. You want to record it. You must negotiate with the right holder and pay royalties. So royalties are fees you receive from the exploitation of your intellectual property by other people.
Now, this brings to mind a current phenomenon which a lot of people are doing, especially those we call emerging artists, where they would just pick up a popular song, record it, do all these live recording, or it's being ministered at a program and the video is done, cut, uploaded on YouTube, or it's being shared all over the place. Is that a violation? Is that a copyright violation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is why, of late, for those of you who are on social media, if you upload a video on Facebook and it contains a song, Facebook will send a note back to you that we have muted the song. And not only do they mute it, they tell you whose song it is. I remember I uploaded a video of the president speaking, and Facebook said they muted it because it has music on it. At the time, they didn't even know whose song it was. So I sent a note back that this is my country's national anthem. It took about 2 or 3 days for them to unmute it. But there was another one I posted, and immediately came back, identified the song, identified the right owner, and said we have muted it because they can get sued. Now, so this is what happens. You go to a concert, you record somebody filming, you immediately put it on YouTube. Now, if YouTube finds it, it's going to block it. Now, let me explain this to you. In popular music, there's something we call the cover version. So I take somebody's song, I twist it around a little bit, I remake it. You can call it a remake, revival. It is a new performance or recording by someone other than the original artist or the composer of the song. And so I have a lot of covers of my own music. Now, recording and posting these without permission violates the rights of the copyright holder.
Okay.
It violates the copyright of the original author. You require a license from the author and then pay a royalty fee to be able to do that. If you want, so if you're going to record my song, like I'm sure you all heard of the controversy when I took someone on for recording one of my songs. You need my license, I need to agree, and then if I want, you pay a royalty fee. So cover versions require that. But so that's the law. But some rights holders don't mind because it might increase the popularity of the song. But if the author objects, YouTube will remove the post immediately. So if I see my song on YouTube by someone and I disagree, I can object to YouTube, I can object to Instagram, I can object to Facebook, and they will immediately pull it down. In some instances, if the work uploaded is very popular, and YouTube has started running adverts on it, which means they are earning income. YouTube will take it upon itself to negotiate with the owner and pay some of the adverts revenue to the owner. So they might pay you, the one who uploaded, but actually the adverts revenue they will share with the owner. So you have posted it, but the owner and YouTube are chopping the money. If the post is removed, it goes as a strike against your YouTube channel, and ultimately you can get banned for repeated violations. So cover songs are fun. They offer exposure for up-and-coming musicians. Before you post, understand the licenses that you will need to do it legally. It is wise to get them before you spend a lot of time and money recording your music video or somebody's song, because you might spend all the time in the studio, spend thousands of CDs to produce a song, and you may never be able to recover a dime from it because you violated somebody's copyright, and you can get into a lot of trouble as well. You might also know that recently I represented the artiste called Rex Omar in an action. Now this is pending in the Court of Appeal, so I won't go into too much detail. But the complaint was that a line in his song had been used to advertise something else. That was his complaint. It's not even the entire song, just the phrase dee da da dee 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 da dee dee da da dee da. That's it. Now you don't believe that in court we had to go into what tonic sulfurs are, and to show that this is a unique tonic sulfur. These are the quavers and semiquavers in it, arranged in this format. And once he did that, he owned the copyright in dee da da dee 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 da dee dee da da dee da. So we brought a music expert to testify. We submitted the music score, and the judge listened to the two and said, well, this is actually a reproduction of his work. The matter is on appeal now, but the High Court granted damages to the extent of 230,000 CDs against the defendant. It's on appeal. If the Court of Appeal upholds it, they will have to pay 230,000 CDs for using dee da da dee 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 da dee dee da da dee da. So that's a lesson for all of us. Ask for permission before you use somebody's song.
Okay, Reverend Denzel Prempeh says, Lennon. Let me bring on quickly. I know, Uncle Ace, I know that you don't have a lot of time to spend with us, so I'll dwell with you.
No. I'm going to stay with you. I've shifted the other.
Awesome, thank you very much. Let me bring on Ninoy, who is the artist manager for Artiste.
Quickly, I know, Uncle Ace, I know that you don't have a lot of time to spend with us, so I'll dwell with you. I'm going to stay with you. I've shifted the other.
Hello, Ni. If you can, I don't know if you can get a headphone for us, that would be very helpful because I'm receiving.
I have a headphone.
Right. Well, if you have, yes, it's okay now. So the feedback is gone. If you have just joined, this is Chat with Daniel Dadson, and today's edition is the Copyright Conversation, and my guest. Right on, Uncle Ace Ankomah, who is no stranger when it comes to Christian music in Ghana, and Ninoy as well, the host of Christian Entertainment Review. That show has been going on for more than 10 years on radio and now on television. He's also
absolutely.
He's also artist manager for Gospel Artiste. For now, quickly before I go back to Uncle Ace, you have been listening to the submission. Now, what just came to mind when he did his last submission was that if gospel musicians in Ghana were to sue, I'm sure no one will survive. No emerging artists and even some of the established artists will survive and still continue ministry. What is your take on that?
I think that Uncle Ace Ankomah is giving great insights about copyright. Very, very great insights. I don't think you need any of it when I could say this. I don't think you did. You just need yourself and a grace to give you these great insights. I'm totally enjoying these insights. And let me say that I'm happy that a lot of musicians are listening. I'm monitoring on Facebook, and like I said, a lot of musicians are listening. I'm happy that all of them are tuning in and they are listening to this all important discussion. Let me say, I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I had an interview with Mary Ganser, Dinah Hopeson, and these veterans that were put together for women in worship. And there were some songs that I asked them that this song of yours. Well, I can see some people have remade it and they are calling it public domain songs, and they're putting it out there. Did they consult you? They said no. I mean, all of them were like, no one consulted me, no one spoke with me. Even it comes to them as a surprise, when they see their songs out there. And then, most at times when you put on YouTube, the unfortunate thing is that's the first time it's going on YouTube, because these oldies, they don't have their works on these digital platforms. So that's the first time it's going on YouTube. So there's no strike or any copyright infringement and all of that. It's quite unfortunate that we don't understand copyright in Ghana and the issues related to it, and you don't respect people's works or artists' works here in Ghana. It's quite unfortunate. So it's very important that Ace Ankomah is here today to help us understand some of these things, and to help every emerging artist watching us now to understand some of these things here today.
Nino, you have been working with a lot of these artists, and what do you draw the attention to it at all, and what response do you normally get, especially when they do the covers? And I've heard people raise the argument that to break into the system, which is true, do some popular songs, put it out there. So have you had the opportunity of raising some of these with some of the artists, and what do they say?
Yeah, I raise it every time when they come for interviews. I raise it every time, but they'll tell you they are public domain songs. So you raise it to that, no, this is a song by this artist that's still living. They say, okay, we'll go and contact the artist, but at the end of the day, they don't go and contact the artist. We don't do due diligence about some of these things in Ghana. I was happy when on MOD's last album Experience, he has some local praise medley. I think they are Methodist songs, and he said at the official album listing that he had officially contacted Methodist, wrote to them, they've written back that he can go ahead and use that. That's like that. I was so happy because that medley was so good. Everybody could sing along and all of that. So I think that's what we should be doing. There's a song by Akese. I'm still looking for the person who wrote the song. So we don't have. So we've got it like over 2 years. We did it with Joe. It's another song he did with Joe.
But the song is already out. But the song is already out.
The song is out.
Okay.
The song is out.
It's not out.
I think that's what. Yeah, that's what I've been there for 2 years. I'm just looking for the owner to go through. Please, you want to release, this your song, because he's done it in a reggae form. You want to release this song of yours and do the proper thing. But that song has been released by other musicians in other forms. You understand? But we decide to go and look for the person, discuss with the person, discuss with the candidate, and discuss monetary issues and stuff before the song. We officially release the song. So these are some of the steps that managers of artists should be taking. I don't know whether you remember some months ago or so, Mr. Drew had an issue and YouTube pulled his song down. I don't know whether you remember that issue.
Yes.
You understand? It became a whole discussion in Ghana. Yes. But Ghanaians, we take it for granted, but it's very important to have those discussions when you are not the correct writer or author of the music that you want to put out.
Uncle Ace, I'm coming back to you on the issue of these veteran gospel musicians, and I've received a lot of interest in what is happening to them. Like when I posted this, somebody came to ask a question that some people have uploaded full albums of songs by our gospel trailblazers, like the names that Nino mentioned, Hanamafu, Helena Rabo, Daughters, etc. Can these women begin to receive royalties? What can they do to make sure that they get what is rightfully theirs?
Absolutely. Part of the problem has been that a lot of the musicians fail to register their copyrights.
Okay.
But of course, that doesn't mean that they don't have the copyright. The registration just keeps the registration is just a registration. I have my copyright whether or not I've registered it with the Copyright Office. The second part is the lack of digitization of or complete digitization of the works, which means that, for example, the music will be put in such a way with a software that if somebody else goes to register a song with a similar line, the software will pick it up and say, sorry, this line of yours is from another song. Let me give you an example. A very good friend of mine, I won't name him, did a medley of songs that he had put on his album, and he did a YouTube video. The minute he put it on YouTube, YouTube rejected it and said, you have 2 lines from somebody's song, go and negotiate for the copyright.
Wow.
So yes, YouTube picked it up immediately. And he could not put the video up on YouTube. It was a medley of songs. Either he chopped that part out of the medley or he goes to negotiate. Because YouTube doesn't want to get into problems. So he had to find the owners, negotiate, pay for it, prove to YouTube that he has paid, and this is the certificate and license he received before YouTube would allow the video to be uploaded. And so, yes, all those who have uploaded other people's songs, if they want to chase you, they will. But let me tell you the problem with Ghana, since I live in Ghana, and that is why our musicians are broke and poor, and others are exploiting them. The minute you take somebody on for doing the wrong thing, there are defenders who appear from the woodwork who don't know the first thing about it, but simply believe that their voices must be heard. And 2, there are the professional beggars who will come and plead with you and beg you not to take it forward. I took somebody on, and well, you know the way I am. If I don't listen, I don't listen. Says a lot of people try that. I'm not listening to any of you. Till the person came with the manager, we sat down, we negotiated. I signed a contract with them authorizing the use of the song, and I said, you know what? I don't want a peso from you. Take the contract and go. I just didn't want their money. I just wanted the right thing to be done. If they decide to take on people who are using their work, and when you put it on YouTube and you get a certain number of hits, YouTube starts paying you. So You've not done anything. All you have done is to take my song, put it on YouTube, and YouTube is paying you, and you're enjoying the money. That's stealing. Now you are stealing, but you will get pastors to beg me for stealing. Now, if they took them on, they would be in a lot of trouble. But we must do the first things first. We who write songs must make the effort to register the songs. Take a copy of the sound, the WAV file, to the Copyright Office. Let them keep it. If you can, take the score with you. So the CD, the score, and everything, register it. Now, you hear people say, oh, it's in the public domain. Now, you don't know what public domain is. Yes.
Yeah, hello, Nino. Do you want to say something?
I have a question. I don't know if you.
Okay, no, please ask.
I have a question. I don't know if you finish the submission. Okay. I mean, so with these veterans, with these old musicians that don't have their songs online on YouTube, and some of these up and coming artists or emerging artists have done their songs, their works, and have uploaded them on YouTube first. Can these veteran artists go with copies of the works to show YouTube? Because most of these emerging artists I know have registered these songs in their names. And I've said that they are public domain songs in Ghana, all of that. These veterans go back with their digital works to
absolutely, Nino.
Okay.
Look, absolutely. Now, wait a second. How can you, claiming you're a gospel musician, take somebody's song and put it under your name? Now, I mean, how do we justify this?
Yeah.
It's not yours. So not only are you stealing, you are lying as well, and you want to be protected. Well, what I'll suggest for any musician, whether veteran or current, is that make sure you have registered your copyright with the Ghana Copyright Office, because Ghana is part of the World Intellectual Property Organization. And so works registered in Ghana are protected worldwide. Get a copy of your registration, and YouTube is accessible by email. And you write to them and say, there's this video out, etc., etc. This is my song. This is evidence of my registration. The first thing YouTube will do is to pull down the video. And it will send a note to the person that XYZ is claiming copyright over the music. Have the issue resolved before we bring the video up. And so it is very easy to do it. Get a copy of your copyright. YouTube is accessible in 3 seconds. Send a copy to them, and YouTube will immediately pull it down. Because YouTube itself could be sued for having that on its platform, and they don't want any suits. They will pull it down, and they will notify the person that go and see XYZ and resolve the copyright issues.
Right. I've just been joined by Mr. Kwasi Ernest, Media CEO for Media Excel. Dr. Kwasi Ernest, welcome.
Thank you.
I can see that. Let me quickly come to you. You've worked with a lot of artists, and you've transitioned from when the age was CD and cassettes into the digital age. Now, we are talking about the veterans, and I'm sure you might have worked with some people maybe will consider veterans. How was it back then? How, for you as an executive producer, how were you protecting the work of these musicians that you were managing? Okay,
I think that in the first place, before I proceed to my substantive, let me, even though I've done it previous years, let me take the opportunity to also thank Uncle Ace, who is here with us this evening, for having the grace and opportunity to pardon me when my artist Just Blessing infringed upon the copyright of Joyful Incorporate. And I'm the example that he was mentioning earlier on, and that he said that we met, and then after meeting, he signed a contract. I mean, he made it so scary. And then we were going to the meeting, and I told Auntie Mary Ganza, I said, Auntie Mary, are you sure? I said, Auntie Mary Ganza was like, Kwasi, go on, is on your way, minimum, on your way, how do you call? I said, Auntie Mary, you know, the man is a lawyer. If I check, in fact, for the first time, I went to Barclays to check my account balance before even going to the meeting, because and then we went to the meeting. He listened to us. Said, okay, Jack, let's do the contract. After everything is signed, and then he just looked at our face and said, gentlemen, go. I don't want anything. I said, so okay. So in fact, for a minute, like I thought that okay, maybe something was coming next, and then I said, okay. So sir, did you say we should go? He said, I said you should go and see no more. So, as a personally, it's a good. It was, and for me, that was an eye opener in this corporate thing, and making sure, and the respect of people, not infringing on people's rights and people's work. But you see, the problem that I see mostly, I level the problem at the doorsteps of the Copyright Society of Ghana.
Why so?
Because you see, the Corporate Office of Ghana has a mandate to protect all creative persons in Ghana. And I love the administration such that you go to the office with a material, either on pen drive or on CD, and then they register for you, and they ask you to pay 200 cedis. They will give you a receipt, and then they will give you some documents to fill here and specifying who the owners of the song are. So even before the song will come to the market, even before the artist will come and release the song, the corporate office has an opportunity, has a privilege to meet the artist one-on-one to register the material. And right from there, the paper that they will give you specify who the original composer is, who is what, all the various rights owners that are involved. There's the paper that they will give you has detail of all these discussions we are having. So I therefore then suggest, look at it, that if there's anything or if there's any advice as to whether or not to release or to release, it should first of all even come from a corporate office to administer properly that, yay, the song that you're about to release belongs to Joyful Way, belongs to Akesi, and it's either you permit us to secure the right for you before you release, or if you go ahead, we may then have to maybe come into terms as to how the original owner of the material of the song will receive his entitlement. This administrative legal purpose is not being carried out, and people have gone there persistently for years, registered works. Some are their own, others too are people's works, like the case of the issues that we are discussing. For example, when I recorded Just Blessings and Megwama, I went to corporate office to register the work. But then there was none of the administrators at the office was able to look at listen to the song and even pinpoint to me that, hey, this one that you want to register, that the owners are dreadful way. So contact them before we mandate or give you the green light to go ahead and publish. So I'm saying that if the situation we have found ourselves has also been the cause of the corporate administration and the inability to protect all of us, and then we found ourselves in this situation. So it is making it look like there's no senior prefect in the house, and then everybody goes to studio, release, and then drop it out in the airway, drop it out, and especially for those who even don't write nothing at all, then you open their CD sleeves, and then they have written all songs, written, composed, and arranged. That is even one. That's when I see it, then my heart begins to bleed. And the person who has never used even a pick pen and paper to write a song before will write in his sleeve that all songs written and arranged and composed by Asimesi. Meanwhile, the corporate office in Ghana, who takes these materials and register them, knows that these songs we keep registering and giving receipts to these individuals, supposedly to mean that the songs and the right belongs to them. It's not supposed to be so. So this discussion that we are having, I will be very happy if we have had one of them as part of this meeting, so that for them to tell us how are they able to register works which they themselves cannot even ascertain the original owners of the content of the songs they keep registering and collecting money on. This is the problem.
But you see, I was thinking that you could understand, but Agoris made a very great point. I think that the digitalization of these works, Agoris raised that point earlier.
Yes.
I think
they haven't digitized. If I might explain, they have not digitized their work.
Okay.
But do you know what? Their failure to tell you that this is somebody's song is not a defense. If you get into trouble and the matter goes to court, the court will not listen to the fact that you went to the copyright office and the copyright office didn't tell you. You see, it is not as if you pick a line, only a line. But when you take an entire song, you know the song is not yours. Right? And so when you are going to a copyright office, like you said, saying that all songs written, composed by me, you're telling actually you could get into legal trouble because it's criminal to say the song is written by me when you know you didn't write it. Let me give you an example. And these things can be very misleading. I was on holiday with my family somewhere, and I woke up in the morning, and let me put this in terms that some people might say, and I believe that the Lord had given me a song. I believe strongly, and I wrote it and sang it to my wife. I said, look, listen, he can do it better for you. Then she said, hey, you'll be no more. Right. I've been listening to that, so it hadn't clicked. I thought I had written a song. I thought a song had come to me, not that I had written a song. It was somebody's song. I went to the studio with another set of people. Do you believe it? I'm the producer for the album. We get in the studio. When we get there, the artist says, oh, she has a very old song that she wants us to think of putting on the album. So she sings it. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I said, hey, Mbocho, I drive away for you on your mind. And you watch on 1974. Wow. And now listen, the fact that the song hasn't even been registered with the copyright office is not a defense if you go and record it. It is not the first person who registers who has the copyright. If I can prove that I wrote this song in 1972, even there might have been no copyright office, and I haven't registered it, you still can't use it. That is why we ought to be careful. You see, a lot of the producers, executive producer, whatever, they meet the artists in church. Let's go to the studio. Sometimes the songs are put together in the studio. He or she sings it, and the studio, the session guys put the music to it, and it's out there. Sometimes even with the wrong words. Now, that is what we have to be careful about. But that doesn't mean we cannot have derivative work or cover versions. I encourage it. In fact, like I said, I myself have done it. I'm doing a project now where I've taken a lot of the hymns that we know and I'm turning them around and I'm having fun with them. Will I sell them? I'm not sure. I'm just having fun. I've been recording for 3 years. We are at mix. Our mix, I said I don't like, take it back. But I was careful to go back and check the source. It is hymn number this. It is in the public domain because it's over 70 years old. Okay. So I can use it without permission. You must check because you might find out that it is not. That somebody else might have recorded. You know, always check. That's all it takes. If you're going to spend that money in the studio, and it costs about what? Almost 10,000 CDs to record a song, depending on the quality you want. If you're going to spend that amount of money per song, why won't you just breathe on it and check before you spend that money? If you don't, you could get into trouble. So me, I'm kind. I don't need any money. But somebody who wants to give trouble will chuck you, go to court, get injunctions, get the police after you. By the time you realize your ministry is going down the toilet simply because you didn't check and you took it for granted that it's in the public domain. The fact that the song is sung in church does not mean it's in the public domain. If you are going to record Dana say, check. Look, I'll give you one last example. The gentleman who wrote Ejame Bomrani, he's still alive. He's in Kumasi. I spoke with him on the phone. He complained about the numerous people who have recorded that song without even recognizing that he's the one who wrote it. So I said, I want to use 2 lines for it for my song. I say, oh, lawyer, so at least there was the agreement. Then he said I should help him license a lot of his songs, and we are working on that. Can you just check, ask questions? Why not try it? Go back, do some research. You will find it. But of course, if you're unable to do it, then be prepared at any time to meet and negotiate and make the relevant payment. But please check.
Uncle Ace, this is why.
It looks like I've lost Ernest. Hello. Yeah, it looks like I've lost Ernest. Who I'm sure his line will be restored pretty soon. If you have just joined, is the copyright and intellectual property conversation chat with Daniel Dadson, my guest, Uncle Ace Ankomah, Kwasi, Ernest, Ninoy. I'm still hoping to be joined by Mrs. Diana Hopeson before we finish this evening's chat. But if you've joined, please share. Keep your questions coming. I'll be putting them to my guest. Questioners, do we have you back? We don't. Okay. Now, one of the things that I find worrying, one of the things that I find worrying is sometimes, even in these contemporary times that we find ourselves, gospel artists would maybe be given a song by a fellow gospel artist, and they will go ahead, put the song out there, and wouldn't even acknowledge that, oh, this song was maybe written for me by maybe an Eugene Zuta or a Joe Metal or Akase Brimpon or Mama Dinah or whoever. They won't even acknowledge it, and the song will be out there. And I don't know if the Famanyami syndrome has in a way contributed to where we are now. Uncle Ace, let me start with you, and then I'll ask Ninoy as well.
Well, I'll say that those who write the songs don't just get up and say, "May the amount." What does that mean? Find a lawyer, write an agreement with the person that I am giving you this song. I am not going to charge you for it, but whenever you publish it, I want you to acknowledge that I wrote the song. This can be a 1-page agreement. In fact, you can just write what I said, that I am giving you the song title this. You will always to record. I will not charge you any money for it, But whenever you write it, kindly acknowledge that the song is mine. Full stop. You sign, I sign. End of story. So I mean, why can't we do the simple things? I don't get it.
But
what does it
take? So sometimes,
if you won't do it, then stop complaining.
That's the thing. So the conversation comes up and it looks like, oh, you are not being Christian. Hey,
I see. But you are making money from the Nyaminyum and Nyaminyum Kakra. If it's Nyaminyum Kakra, go and write your own. No, you see, these are the attitudes. Then go and write your own. If it's that easy, it's Nyaminyum Kakra. Controls it. No, but somebody sits down and does the work. So for the authors, please write it down. You probably don't even need a lawyer. This song is mine. I am giving it to you to record. I'm going to charge you 20 pesos per reproduction, or I'm going to charge you 0. Kindly acknowledge every time that it is my song. Period. That's all. Then why? Okay, you as a man, you didn't take anything. You are complaining. Can we do the right thing both on all sides? And you too, the person gave the song to you, and you're out there saying the song is yours. How criminal can you be in the name of the gospel? Now, I'm sorry, I don't care who calls me a Christian or does not call me a Christian. If you want to steal my property and take advantage of me, and you would rather call me unchristian, I will leave God to judge between you and I, but I will take you on this earth.
Yeah. I think I don't know whether it's a Ghanaian attitude as well. Nino, I'm sure you'll be familiar with this particular story. So, a few months ago, it came up again, and we all know the song "We Bow Down and Worship Yahweh," and I was personally worried. So, I engaged with a few people, and I was told that this gentleman who is in another artist in Nigeria had picked the song, recorded. For those who don't know the background, maybe go back and listen to some previous editions of Christian Entertainment Review. You get it. But basically, the song "We Bow Down and Worship Yahweh" by Kofi Kakari, who is a Ghanaian. The song was uploaded to YouTube. If I'm correct, I think somewhere in 2009. Was it 2007 or 2008? Or no, 2009 or something like that. Then a couple of years later,
some parts of it were also recorded by the Nigerian.
Right, but so the contention was who first produced that song. Now, I think a couple of years later, the Nigerian guy did the song and uploaded it on YouTube. And you see, this thing that Uncle Ace said about the digital registration is so key. From the information that I got, that when it was contested at YouTube, the Nigerian guy had distributed it online and created the digital footprints, and he proved that okay, the song is mine. So Kofi Kakari's song had to be demonetized, on YouTube, and now the royalties and everything that is associated with it goes to the guy. But I also had a funny story whereby another song, the person was on a platform somewhere and they were saying that, oh, how the Lord gave him the entire song when he was about to have a plane crash and all those things. It's just funny. But why is it difficult for us Christian artists? Why is it difficult for us to do the right thing? I don't know. You engage. I'm asking you. You engage a lot. Is there something that the public don't know?
And I think I would be wrong to say Christian artists in general, because in this case, the Ghanaian Christian artists and the Nigerian Christian artists or gospel artists, who I mean, they had this issue, and for that matter, the Ghanaian decided to, those times, I think some years back, 5-6 years back, Kofi Kakari showed me the registration details of all of this. The last time we spoke, his management told me that they're still in court. So I think it will be a very slippery grounds if we talk into detail. But I think that the whole issue is that the Nigerian guy took some parts of that song, added to his songs, and his song. I don't remember the title, but the artist is David G, Nigeria. Yeah. And the guy reported to YouTube when Kofi Kakari's song has been demonetized on YouTube, like you rightly said, and it's caused a whole lot of issues because the guy has a lot of views. I think over 1 million or so on YouTube, and it's caused a whole lot. So the thing is that we'll come back to the digitalization of the registration, because that's very, very important. If we have a solution, and I've been saying this is what Gambro needs. This is what we need to solve our music rights issues. We need to get a solution, a one-stop software or a solution, so that when Uncle A does a song, he loads it there. Immediately, someone else wants to do the song, and they load it into the system before they even take your money, give you a receipt or a certificate to show that this is your works. You know, they rectify that. This is what, like, I mean, there are some parts that are not yours. There are some parts that are for this person. Go and discuss issues with the person and come back. Like, we need to understand all these parts. So that is the major problem we are facing. We need that solution, that software that will help us link all of this, put all this together. That's our major problem. And I keep saying, I don't know if it's going to come to the conversation of those with the laptops at Circle, Accra Central, who have their laptops. When you go with one pen drive, 5 CD, they can give you like 100 songs. And the guys who sell in traffic, I think we're going for those wedding. Yeah. Oh yes, in Accra. We're going for those wedding. I take from the wedding to the reception myself. Akesi and my wife were in the car going, and we stopped one of these guys with a pen drive. And I said I wanted Akesi, but they gave me a pen drive of all Akesi's song for 5 CD. And Akesi was in the car. He was shocked. I mean, he was like, wow. I had all my songs for 5 CD, and you know, it was something that we were all shocked. We were all shocked that he could. And after that, it was a folder. Then he went to Joe Bettles, all Joe Bettles' songs. Every pastor doing Dadson songs were there. There's has some serious praise medleys. They were there. Coda praise medleys. They were all there on one pen drive for 5 CDs. For one pen drive, all for 5 CDs also. I mean, it was we were all shocked in the car whilst we were listening, and we gave it back to him, asking him questions, and and the fact is that this copyright conversations in Ghana, and like our Uncle Ace is saying and all of that, one, ignorance of the people standing on the street. I know ignorance of the law is no excuse, but ignorance of the people standing on the street, that's the first thing. Number two, the copyright office in Ghana needs to help us in some of these things. Need to go after some of these people, need to make them understand the copyright laws and all of that, and get understand some of these things. But the major problem is that when we get this solution, when we get this software we are talking about, when the copyright agency in Ghana stands up and start to think more than technology, we will get some of the things right in regards to copyright.
Okay, Uncle Ace, let me ask. Does the government have a role to play in all these, setting up the apart from the regulatory framework and the enforcement of the law, setting up the infrastructure that will make all these work for not just gospel musicians but musicians in general? Is it the responsibility of government?
Why do we keep going back to government? Who is the one collecting the money? Now this issue of software, thank you, but really that's all that we can get. Don't we have applications on our phones that identify music? I mean, are we a serious country?
Yeah, we have
a serious.
Our
musicians serious? How much would software cost? The money they make at Gambro every month can buy the software. I'm saying that if you can I have an app on my phone, and if I'm in my car and I hear a song, I don't know what the beginning of the song, and I want to find out what it is, I engage the app, and the app will give me the name of the song, the name of the artist, when it was recorded, who owns the rights. Now, if that can be an app on our phone in 2020, we are saying that Gambro can't get the copy, the copyright office cannot acquire the software. It's a joke, and that is why we are here. We are discussing a joke.
Yeah. Wow.
If we all put 100 CDs together, we can get a modern day copyright that will sit and monitor all the stations and log the songs. That is what they do elsewhere. Their rights organization has every radio station linked up to their office, and they have one mainframe computer that monitors every song that is played across the country.
Yeah.
And so they have the information. And we are saying that in 2020, the excuse is that we can't afford the copyright. Maybe there are interests that don't want the copyright. Because I asked questions of Gamro. I've been Gamro's lawyer before. When the fight started, I went to court to get Gamro for the current people. I asked a question. Is it because if we did that, then people who are earning monies for not being relevant will not continue to earn monies? Because right now I ask, how does Gamro share the money? If there's no indication as to whose song was played, there's no logging. Right? So maybe that system will be...
Let me add that there's a company.
Yes.
Let me add that there's a company called Good Music that they've linked they've linked the software to radio. Now radio stations are on tuning, and they do Facebook Live. So they've linked the software to tuning. So now when you play, they have the hits. And I think the way that still having discussions with Gabriel, Gabriel is not accepting them well, but it's a great software that every artist must get. So when you, for instance, I know that Artiste is placed like maybe 50 times in a day, and I can show you the radio stations all over Ghana that play these songs. But I think they are still having discussions with Gabriel over a year or so on how for them to adapt this.
For a year, we're having discussions.
Now, it's interesting this is coming up because just this week, I was engaging a friend of mine, trying to share some few things on this conversation that we will be having. And what he said actually shocked me, that one of the reasons why, because he asked an inside person, and one of the reasons that they prefers was that when the system in Ghana is streamlined, it will give opportunity for international royalties, societies to come in and then, as it were, get the monies off the TV stations, radio stations, and whatnot that uses international music. So I was saying that, but that is not. I don't know the exact, but that is not a good thing to do, because in doing so, you are depriving the citizens of the country, or the creatives who are citizens of the country, their right to their well-being and the security of their work. So I don't know why that is the motive.
That just makes sense. Now let me tell you what. The artists in LA, they're probably not interested in what we play in Ghana. But if they are, they will monitor without coming to Ghana, and they will come here with evidence and fix us and ask for their money, because we all fall under the same international treaty, where there's worldwide production, there's worldwide protection of registered work. So to say that if we put it there, the foreign artists will come here and make money, is such a weak and cheap defense. And indeed, if the foreign artists are going to ask for a lot more money from us, then maybe we will play more local music, because we are probably not as expensive as the foreign artists are. But you listen to our radio stations, now there's quite a lot of Ghanaian music on our radio stations. But maybe this is the kind of discipline we need. We need the monitor. And I'm glad Nino is saying that the software exists. Rights holders should begin to ask Gamro, why has it taken a year to have discussions? Is it that some pockets will be affected? And that is why, look, it's like, anyway, let me not stray. Because maybe I don't sound Christian enough. Maybe there are people who are listening who say, who is this Christian who likes to fight so much? Well, I fight for a living.
That is the challenge. That is the challenge, where we ignore the business aspect.
Well, but I can assure you, they'll do it to everybody. They won't dare do it to me. I always give an example, and I'm sorry, I'll give this example here. I watched a video where a man of God called the musicians in the church forward and blasted them because they asked to be paid. And I asked everybody the question. Imagine I was the guitarist or the bassist or the pianist in that church. Do you think he would have dared call me forward to blast me? Just imagine it. That day I was playing for my church. Do you think he would have dared call me forward to blast me? I'd have taken the mic from him and blasted him back to his face. You see, we ought to stop. Oh, I will do it. Oh, I've done it before. When someone thought you could take the mic, I took the mic from him and said my piece. Okay, there's some noise in the background. So
Yeah,
I'll leave it.
honest, yeah, I think we have some. We're having some.
We need to be assertive. I'm not saying go and get a fight, but you need to know what your rights are. The purpose of this is to teach us our rights so we implement it well. So I'll plead with you, don't just write the songs and give them away and sit in your room and cry when people are making money off your music. Make the money yourself. You can monitor the play. Nino is right. You can monitor the play because of tuning. And you can make demands that my music has been played 60 times. I want to be paid for each of the 60 times that my music has been played. When we start taking them on, some of these things will be done properly.
Now I know that Nigeria at a point went, put up a structure and a framework where it was mandatory for media houses within the country to play. I think it was 80-20, so 80% local content and 20%.
Can you check the sound for me? I can't hear you.
Are you able? Okay, can you hear me now?
Very, very low. Still, I can't hear you. Nick, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. So I don't know. Kindly, if you can hear you.
I don't know if it's from your side.
Yeah, disconnect and
I can't hear anything at all.
Yeah, disconnect and come back. And
yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, Dr. Kwasi, disconnect and come back. Let's see if we can have you properly. But one thing I want us to look at is another emergence, another phenomenon of the issue of blogging, where fake, people have created social media handles, YouTube channels, and they, assuming Akesi Brimpone is having a concert, they will go there in the name of promoting the concert. They would record the live performance on their phone, come and put it on their channels, and these channels are monetized, or they put it on their website. The website is monetized. Ace, can you help us? Does that constitute a breach of copyrights? And
absolutely. I just shared that earlier. Absolutely. One, it is not. Remember that I said the works that are protected include choreographic work. It includes audio visual. And so if you attend my concert and you bring your phone out and record and do live streaming, you are violating rights. And as I explained, if you put it on YouTube and the music is registered with YouTube, YouTube itself will block it immediately. They have the software that will detect it. Look, recently, what were you joking about? We're joking about Man U having lost 6-1. And somebody did a meme with the song 111666.
Yeah.
And somebody posted it on Facebook. In less than a minute, Facebook sent a message. We have muted the video. The song is 111666, recorded by Daddy Lumba on this album on this date. And so they have the software to stop it. And where still, if the artist gets to know and writes to YouTube, YouTube will stop it. And if the person continues, the blogger continues, YouTube will block the channel. They'll have to go and do another channel to be able to do it. Look, they are doing this elsewhere. We just have to be honest with ourselves. If you want to use it, sit down, negotiate. If there's money to be paid, pay it and do it. If there's revenue to be shared, share the revenue. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's not take advantage of each other and then pretend to hide under the cross and Christianity when we are, brazenly taking advantage of each other.
Advantage of each
right.
Let me add to it that quite recently, I don't know whether you saw Celestine Donko's manager, Kofi Donko, put a report. I don't know where you saw on his Facebook page. He put a report. He has striked some bloggers. Celestine Donko's performance at the VGMs. And I think some bloggers uploaded it on their YouTube page, and he reported to YouTube, and YouTube had to strike them, but the bloggers were mad, and some of them came to me and said, "Yes, it's not your content. I mean, it's someone's content. So whether it's at the VGMs, it's wherever, it's not your content." So he struck them because some weeks later he was going to release the song because the song was not original. Like it was not original. He had the rap in it this time, so it was like a remix. So it was ready to be released. Yes, but the guys had gone ahead and uploaded it. So he reported to YouTube, and they strike them. And the bloggers were complaining. So like Ace is saying, if it's not your content, you need to acknowledge it. For whether blogging, that is why at times when we pay for bloggers to write stories, or the digital journalists, online journalists to write stories for us, you pay that you write stories for us to help us promote the works, to drive traffic to those channels. We don't tell you to go and load the content there. No, we help you. We pay you to drive traffic to those channels for people to listen to our music. We don't pay you to load the content and share those content fees we get with us.
Okay, but you see, this particular topic, in discussion of this picking up the concert visuals and posting. I think that, me and you, we become victims of this circumstance. In so many, I remember Kofi Sapo concert. Immediately we finished, the next day, somebody, and you know how they do it. They actually try to cut the exciting areas where it has traffic movements, and then they will cut that place and then put their logo on, and then they will post it there for monetization. So I call one of, I saw it and I called them and I said, gentlemen, did you know how I struggled to even got sponsorship to do these concerts? And the small video I'm going to post on YouTube and then I can monetize. You have also cut the best part of it and you have put on your page. And then you have rather add your logo as your own and then you are monetizing. So I asked the gentleman on the phone that how does he want me to survive as a person and as a company? And you know the answer he gave me, Uncle Ace. He said that the camera and the phone that they use in recording that material is their own camera.
Oh my.
But you two, why didn't you call your lawyer? This one is resolved in one letter. Let me give you an example.
No.
Let me give you an example.
Okay, in such instances, I'm a pocket lawyer myself. So in that instance, in such instances, I deal with them in the space to which the response came. I said, so you have cameras and you didn't do concerts, and rather you came to me my event and you use your cameras to come and capture my event and sell. Why didn't you use the camera to record yourself and then put it on YouTube for monetization instead of coming to it? Was big. So I just wrote a letter to to YouTube, and I told them that. So they requested for evidence to prove that I'm the owner of the show and I'm the owner of the content. And then I filed everything today, the posters, the company certificate, and I forwarded everything. And then 3 days later, the same company called me and said, Mr. Ernest, we want to sit down and because YouTube said they want to try to take down our channel. Usually, YouTube will tell them that they want to take down their channel. So when they saw that their channel, they're about to lose their channel, then they came back to me, said that we should sit down and negotiate. I said, what is there to negotiate?
Pull it down. That's all.
You have impregnated my daughter, and I said, take your baby from the womb. Let me take my daughter. What is difficult about this one?
Well, I'm glad we took steps to correct it. Maybe they'll learn their lessons. Because in some of that, you see, the problem is that maybe when you do this, then pastors suddenly appear and they are begging you, etc., etc. But I'm glad you took the step, and hopefully we will all
the
learn.
Professional beggars. The professional beggars.
Hopefully we will all learn and do better. So I'm glad you took some action.
Well, thank you very much. Let's we'll have to bring this conversation to a close shortly. Let me acknowledge a few messages that are here. And for all of you who are watching live on Facebook and YouTube, thank you very much for taking time out to join us this afternoon. There's a question. Okay, Denzel says that he has an issue and you want to ask Uncle Ace if he's familiar with Telegram and how can we work out copyright infringements on that platform, because there is a person who has created a page and is sharing.
In fact, he shared the link with me. Almost everybody.
Yeah, I've seen that particular.
Every social media platform has a link for complaints. I believe if you go to Telegram's website, you will find a link for filing complaints. They are required by law in the countries where they operate to maintain that. He should check on it, and if he finds it, he should give details of the report, just like Doc was able to do. Once you do that, they will take steps. None of them wants to get into trouble.
Pastor Edwin Dadson is saying that, can you deal with the ego and mindset of Ghanaian artists, whether Christians or non-Christians, on wrong image attached to releasing a song and acknowledging that someone else altered it, and you are singing it? Because it is as if they feel it's a shame or failure when others get the impression they personally did not write the song. Hence, they are forced to give a wrong impression. For example, you've written a lot of songs actually for Joyful Way, and sometimes people don't even know that you did that. So, Pastor Edwin is asking if you could speak to the ego and mindset of some of the artists.
Well, I'll tell you what. One of the things I've learned about the law is that it is a dangerous thing to fall in the hands of the law. It is a dangerous thing to fall in the hands of the law. You will sit there and do the pa and say nobody can touch me. But the day the law arrives at your doorstep, it will amaze you. Let me say something that Christians sometimes don't like to hear. Our God, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, it was the law that arrested him. And the law tried him, and the law sentenced him to death, and the law actually killed him. Had he not risen from the dead, we would have no faith. In fact, Bible says it. Had he not arisen from the dead, we will be of them. Everybody will laugh at us.
Yeah.
Yes. And so remember that the law can bring you down. There are preachers, I don't want to mention names here, but when the law got them, I'm telling you, when the law got some preachers in Ghana on taxes, 2 of them worked in my office. So be careful. When the law gets you, you'll be in trouble, and it will bring down your ego so quickly. Just do the right thing. Ask the questions. Negotiate. Those who write music, frankly, why? I don't need your money. I just don't want you to say the song is for you. So let's sit down. Let's negotiate. I'm happy. Look, a young lady did a cover of one of my songs, posted it on Instagram. I like it so much. I am actually looking for her to say, you know what? Let's work together. Let's do something together. I like her attitude. She didn't claim the song was hers. She sang it very beautifully. So she has a beautiful voice. I told my kids, try and find her. Let's see if we can do a gig with her. I might end up paying her for singing on my song, for singing on my album. Right? Yes.
Sorry, Lee, go ahead.
No, I was saying that Denzel is saying that he had reported the issue to Telegram, and he sent several mails. Telegram had not responded. This has been over 3 months. He's asked other IT experts to help to get, because he sent several mails.
At some point, he needs to speak. At some point, he needs to speak with lawyers on the matter. If he really wants to move it forward, at some point, he needs to speak with lawyers who then can get in touch with Telegram's lawyers and move the matter forward. So if you try and doesn't work, escalate it.
Ace, personally, one of my closing remarks, I personally believe that most of these discussions we are having, if it would be proper to have some kind of a mini conference, a one-day full corporate conference, and then try to bring all the stakeholders, the bloggers and all these event organizers, the creative art people, all these persons under one roof. Because you see, the amount of ignorance that is out there on corporate related issues. Look, you wake up one morning, go to Lorry Park. I told one musician that you do know that you are rich. He said, how? I said, go to New Plan Station and go and see how your songs is being used to sell Alafia bitters and all these places and everything. Free. You take the buses. They've put screens in the bus. Accra to Kwasi. They will show music video of the artists, and then people are sitting inside the bus enjoying from Accra to Kwasi. Meanwhile, the bus took 60 Ghana cedis from each passenger. But the music in the bus is a free dessert for anybody that is sitting in the bus. Can you imagine? And in several instances. So I'm thinking that, I mean, look at some of these radio stations and they do a jingle and then they put some artist music behind as a cover this thing. And then 1 minute, then they are broadcasting and then free of charge. And then, and so the instances, the corporate infringement instances is so huge in this country such that if we don't do anything quickly enough to arrest the situation, I mean, very soon it's going to blow out that we cannot even control it.
I agree.
Because
organize a conference. I'll come and speak, or I'll send one of my
interesting speaking, the chief regulator of the corporate, the administrator itself, the amount of advocacy they are supposed to carry out to protect intellectual properties in this country, they failed in that device.
So organize, get musical, get the Gospel Musician Association, organize it.
No,
we'll start the
this
discussion.
one.
Maybe things will get better.
We have the Table of Men organization. The Table of Men will have a meeting and then we'll look at it and then look for sponsorship ourselves from corporate. And we'll come to you. We'll come and have a meeting and then look for a plush one. We'll do a plush conference on this one so that we can conscientize all of us about this intellectual property. Because if we don't control it and Ace from now, I'm telling you, it is going to be alarming. Because the younger generation that are coming, they don't know jack about copyright issues.
What they do is that they will put money in people's pockets. Because when people start suing, they will wake up. Like I said, what's the example? A big industry, a big alcoholic beverage industry was taken on by a musician, and he made 230,000 CDs for a bar or two of his songs haven't been used. And so if you use that as the example, that 2 bars, 230,000 CDs, there may be each, and you can imagine it will cripple a lot of these bloggers because I don't think they have that kind of money.
Have you watched your TV? Have you watched your TV? If you watch TV recently, a new movie that is being premiered in Hollywood, you have a young television station Accra here showing it in broad daylight, free of charge.
Yes, because they haven't bothered to come after us.
And they don't know that if Time Warner chases you to Ghana here, you and your whole descendants, you'll be sold. And the money will not be enough to even pay the debt.
And the thing about Time Warner is that they can afford the lawyers. They can afford the expensive lawyers who know their way around the system, and they will cripple you forever. And so people should learn the lesson. So maybe one of the takes from this.
I have another question.
Isn't our time up?
The TV stations, that take your whole concept. This is from Denzel. The TV stations that take your whole concept, and they play it like for an hour, 2 hours, and they tell you they're trying to promote you. I want to know what is that line between promotion and
it ought to be by agreement. It ought to be by agreement. How did they get your entire concept?
Maybe
you have to sit down and say, I'll allow you to play, let's say, 6 minutes every day for 1 month. It ought to be by agreement. So when they sit with them and say, yeah, I agree you want to do this, but you're actually depriving me of money. Let's look at the promotion. If you want it, I'll give you free 6 minutes a day or specific portion of the concept. The rest, I am going to put on my music video and I am going to put it out. But I know they go and download from YouTube and then play it on TV stations. And play it on TV stations. I've seen a lot of that. But
because they don't want to invest money. They don't want to invest money to buy proper content. So they have to now. They are resorting to go in to take people materials, and they are playing because television station is like a baby. Every 1 hour you need to feed it. So if you open TV stations and you don't have budget to buy content, that's what happens to you. So and so this corporate thing is very important.
No, Ernest, if you do it, you get a lot of people attending.
Yeah,
call the TV stations, radio stations, musicians, copyright administrators, lawyers. Let's have a 1-day conference and let's learn about.
We'll do it a 2-day season. That's get ready. We are bringing you to Ghana. It doesn't get ready. We invite you to Ghana. This is very important.
Yeah, it is. It is.
All right.
I mean,
Daniel, is it time to close?
yes,
I
we
have
it's
to
just
run
trying
now.
to yes, thank you very much. Jonathan, your question, I think that's been dealt with earlier by Uncle Lace. So let's quickly let me take your closing remarks, gentlemen. We've said a lot, and there's a lot of takeaway from this, and I'm very sure that those who would watch this video later on will really benefit as well as much as those who have been on. Let me take some closing remarks from Dr. Kwasi. You already gave your closing remarks, so let me start with Ninoy. Let me start with you, and then I'll end with Uncle.
Okay, so I want to say that it's been a great discussion, and I'm happy. A lot of emerging artists, and a lot of established artists, a lot of musicians are following this discussion, and I'm grateful that we have a highly respected legal brain and to join us to explain these issues better to us. And Agrace will be coming to you to help us in the education aspects, because this conference is very, very, very important. So that like my chairman is saying, it's very, very important because we need to have this discussion to make us understand some of these copyright issues. So we are grateful, and we pray that when we put this conference together, I've seen that Pastor Dadson say that a lot of these conferences have been they put them together and no one appears, but we try and get a strategy and get everybody involved so that we can all learn from some of these things before we start going to court and you start begging us professional beggars will come and all of that. So thank you very much everyone for watching us, and I just stay tuned. Agrace has agreed to speak at the conference, so just stay tuned. We'll be having the conference and
thank you. Agrace, in your final submission, please, can you I don't know if once you're closing us, what Setamakwame Menu is asking that what do you do if you want to use a song in some medley but can't seem to locate the original writer? Can you just acknowledge the writer and go ahead to release it? If you can handle that whilst you just close us with your final submission.
Yes. Speak to a copyright office. Do more of an effort. Speak to somebody who knows somebody. Spend a month or two looking for the person. If, however, you record it and the person comes up, don't show any pride. Be willing to sit down and negotiate and sort it out. Let me say that I got introduced to gospel music when I was 11, in 1979, when I went to Form 1 in Infantsville. And so I've been playing gospel music since I was 11 years old. I'm 52 now. And so it was way before I became a lawyer. And so in studying to become a lawyer, that has been one area that I have looked at from time to time. I will plead with you, gospel musicians, producers, artists, please don't make the mistake. We've made it for a while. The scripture says that the days of ignorance God has overlooked, but now commands men to obedience. There's one thing that is worrying musicians. It is the arrogance of ignorance, that you don't know, but you are arrogant about your not knowing. Please take your time, find out as much as possible, write your own songs. If you want to use somebody's song, check and cross-check and make sure you've crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's. If you are approached, be humble, negotiate it well, and get it resolved. God bless all of you. Thanks for the time, Daniel.
God bless you, sir. Thank you very much. Dr. Kwasi, Ernest, Uncle Ace, Ankomah, and Ninoy, God richly bless you for the time. I'm grateful, and I hope that we've had a lot of takeaway from today's edition of the program. Gentlemen, God richly bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Abeku Santana. I'm so excited to introduce to you Pay Angel Money Transfer. Yes, Pay Angel Money Transfer, Africa's money transfer expert. And now, let me tell you 10 reasons why you should choose Pay Angel Money Transfer than any other money transfer in the world. You get free and fast money transfer. You have the service to pay with your debit card, with your bank transfer, or your credit card. You can choose either a mobile app, you can use the website, or you can make a phone call for our service. You can pay your fees, your dues, and all your bills with Pay Angel Money Transfer without any third-party agent. Earn money When you refer a friend or family member, get up to 4,000 Ghana cedis life insurance cover for your receivers who receive money through Pay Angel in Ghana. Experience exceptional personalized customer service with Pay Angel. You can send money free of charge from UK, Spain, Italy, Germany, Canada, and the Netherlands. This is Pay Angel, Africa's #1 money transfer expert in Europe and Canada.
Pay Angel, Africa's pay expert. Pay Angel, send mama and papa some money. Pay Angel.
Yes, thank you very much. That is Pay Angel, Africa's payment expert. Make sure you're downloading the app and checking out the great service by Pay Angel. Now, thank you very much for watching. God willing, next week I would have 2 guests. This time we return to the profile interviews again, and I will be having on 2 amazing artists. Maybe you would choose to call them emerging artists, but I know that they've been doing this for a while. One I've known personally has been behind the scenes for more than 10 years. So Charles Pettingill, who is the official pianist for Koda, he will be joining me together with Kwendolyn Yeargley. I hope I had the name right. Kwendolyn will be joining me as well. So make a date with us. But I would say for all the things that we have learned from today's edition of the program, let's make sure that we take note of them and take the right steps and do the right thing. My name is Daniel Dadson. It's been Chat with Daniel Dadson. God willing, next week we are back.
Set me free, strip me of my filth, redeemed, cleansed, blessed, and sealed by the power of the blood that flowed free from the cross. I am healed by the blood. I'm healed. I'm healed. I declare healing by the blood of Jesus. By the blood I'm healed. I'm free. I declare healing by the blood of the Lamb. Washed away my sin. Washed away my sin. Redeemed, cleansed, blessed, and sealed by the power of the blood that flowed through from the cross. I am healed. I am healed by the blood. By the blood, I'm healed. I'm healed. I declare healing by the blood of Jesus. By the blood of Jesus. I'm healed. I'm free. And I declare healing by the blood of the Lamb. By the blood of the Lamb. By the blood. I'm healed. I'm healed. I declare healing by the blood of Jesus. By the blood